Hi guys, this is just a quick stream from me really. Not sure if you can actually hear that. Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, just sort of go in for about 20-25 minutes ish, probably about 20 minutes. Just sort of to see how sort of crafting works. Is my camera working? The camera does not appear to be working right now. That's great. Let me just try and fix that. Oh, there's always one technical issue, isn't there? You know, I swear these things are sent to try me, because this was literally working before I went live, and now for some unknown reason, completely onto itself, the camera seemed to have broken. Wonderful. Let's try it with a different. Yep, that one. There we go. Just some live overlay work here. Whoop. There we go. Apologies, the camera is not that great to begin with. But I did buy it about 5 years ago and it was very cheap at the time, so can't really say better than that. Okay, so today I am doing just a quick stream of sewing. I'm not sure if I said that already, amongst the other technical issues that I was having there. Basically, I started making this patchwork quilt for a friend of mine about, I want to say about 2 years ago now, and it was one of those crafts that I took on and I really enjoyed doing it. I just never actually got back round to doing it. So I have loads of pieces, as you can see from here. You can't see the colour too well, but it is in a pastel shade, so that probably doesn't help too much. But you can see we've sort of got different patterns there. We've got pink polka dots, flowers, and then blue, and then some more. This bit is my personal favourite because it's purple and it's polka dots and it's flowers. Yeah, so I got just like pre-cut bits, which is one of these. They're really nice. They were super cheap. I do actually need some more to finish the entire thing, but yeah, they were really nice. I think by the looks of it, I have got to the end of this bit. As you can see, I have a pre-threaded needle here, and I'd already got one on there. So I'm just going to cut that one off, because I had made the unfortunate mistake of forgetting that there was a needle still attached to it when I unrolled it earlier. and nearly stabbed myself in the finger. But yeah, so I think I originally estimated that the blanket is about 22 squares by 14 squares. And these are 10 centimetre squares of fabric. So it's quite a big project, and it takes quite a lot of sewing, because the other part of it was that I also decided to sew the entire thing by hand. And whilst I do not regret that, I also think that given my tendency to, well, say I have, sometimes I can have quite a short attention span, and I do occasionally, like this, take on projects that probably will require more focus than I tend to have in any given situation. So I'm hoping if this all works, that I can continue to sort of chat to you guys and hopefully finish this blanket. So when Christmas rolls around, I might actually be able to give it to my friend. And hopefully she'll be appreciative of it. And if not, or it turns out too good, I may just keep it for myself. I don't know if I would ever consider myself a massive sewer. Like in terms of projects, I haven't done that many really. But I have always been quite a fan of sewing, and my grandmother taught me to sew at a very young age. So it's sort of quite a nice and quite useful tradition to keep going, really. What you probably can't see I'm doing right now because of the camera, I am just threading a pin through to hold the bits together before I sew it. I don't want to... Oh, that's the wrong edge. It's no wonder that wasn't lining up properly. Yeah, I don't want to pull it too tight, because otherwise I'll end up with stretched material in one place and then it won't fit properly with the rest of the squares. To be honest, as I'm sewing this by hand and I don't always have the neatest sewing, it's probably not all going to line up perfectly anyway, but I think that kind of adds to the charm a little. Sort of, it makes it feel more homemade, or handmade, I suppose. I do apologise for any creaking noises you can hear, because again, very cheap chair, second hand actually, so it's quite old, and yeah, it's an office chair, so it creaks quite a bit. Which is alright, except for when you're trying to do something that requires being quiet, and then all you can hear is creaking every time you shift around. And again, I'm quite fidgety, so I tend to shift around quite a bit. I'm not used to sitting in a specific position for this kind of stuff, so you have to bear with me if I keep moving things out of the screen. Out the camera, shall I say. To be honest, I don't see any messages in the chat, so I don't know if I've actually got anyone watching at the moment. But if anyone is watching, hello, and feel free to pop in, say hi. You don't have to, you can lurk. And I think I do actually have a lurk function set up in the chat. One of the few things I did manage to do, I seem to find it a lot easier to cope with this whole streaming aspect when I'm not online. could set up the scenes. I could even set up the streaming bitrate once I knew what that was and how important it was. Oh, just noticed I've got a small issue with my overlay there. Let's just pop that there. There we go, can actually see. Assuming that that's updating. I don't think I have a new one here at the moment. But that's alright, because to be fair, this is possibly the first stream I've had so far that I've had minor technical issues, and as far as I'm aware is still working. Although I have to have it paused on my end because my internet is so shonky. But yeah, I'm sure after a while I will get some peeps in, say hi. You may have noticed that at the top of my screen that there is a donation goal. Now, I have that set up, and I think I did actually forget to hide that on this screen. I have that set up just more as a reminder to myself of what I'm working towards. So at the moment I am, well, some of you who might be watching may know that I run my own Etsy store, and basically I make handmade candles and jewellery at the moment, but I'm also looking to expand into different areas. Obviously as time progresses and such. But my current goal is to buy myself a fairly decent candle mould for making beeswax sheets. If you're a crafty person and you're here, then you may have seen at some point in your life rolled beeswax candles. So basically it's a sheet of beeswax, a really thin sheet, and then it's essentially rolled around the wick, and it's just they look incredible. Some of them are just flat candles, so they'll just be cylindrical all the way up. Others, they can be sort of more spiraled looking, and those are pretty amazing looking as well. But yeah, beeswax is known mostly for being incredibly expensive, but I'm fortunate enough that my dad owns honeybees, which produce quite a bit of wax. Well, I say quite a bit. I think it's something like for every, oh gosh, what is it? I want to say something ridiculous, like for every 80 pounds of honey a beehive makes, they get about 2 pounds of wax or something. I can't remember if it's quite that high, but it is like a ridiculously low amount. And obviously, even if you multiply that over several hives, that's still not very much. And when you consider how many hundreds of thousands of bees that you need to produce all of that, it can get quite costly. And having looked around in other places for these candles, a slightly worrying thing I discovered was that actually there isn't a regulation that determines how little beeswax you can have in a candle to consider it a beeswax candle. So a lot of places, if they're selling apologise for any clunking here, selling rather cheap beeswax candles, it may be because there's not actually as much beeswax in them as you might think, or you might hope. which is why it's nice for me, because I know exactly where that wax comes from. Some of it can literally be scraped out of the hives from outside our door, sort of a thing. So it's quite nice having the knowledge, sort of the traceability, I guess, which seems to be quite a nice thing these days. It's knowing where the stuff's come from. And also does help production costs quite a bit, because, as I say, beeswax is very expensive. But as for the mould, mould itself is actually... Hey Will! Hi! It's going okay actually. I did have a little bit of a technical issue because my camera decided to break as soon as I went online, of course. And I apologise for the graininess because it is a pretty bad camera. It was a web camera and it was about 20 quid, so I couldn't really say fairer than that at the time. But yeah, it's going well actually. I'm literally on for about as soon as you start streaming, really. If you're streaming today, I was going to attempt a raid because I figured that's probably something I should learn how to do as a streamer. So I will be popping over to yours in a bit. But how are you today, Will? You good? I hope you're good. Oh, cool. You're on in 5 minutes. Yeah, I mean it's a bit grainy and it's a bit washed out, but I figure if you can see what I'm doing, and I don't know if you were here a little while ago, I was explaining that I do have to have my end of the stream paused because I can't run it and stream because my internet is just not that good. So if there are any issues, I'm mostly relying on the chat because I can't see on my end. I can only see it through Streamlabs, and obviously that doesn't represent what's going on the other side of things. Good today, a little tired. Oh, I know how you feel. I was awake till about 4 this morning. Probably woke up about 7 or 8. Desperately tried for several hours to go back to sleep, and then ended up getting a phone call this morning about 9, so I just gave up. So yes, very, very tired, and I sympathise. I'm not too sure what's happened there. I appear to have picked up a stray thread from somewhere. There's always one, isn't there? Let's just cut that off. We don't need it. Enjoyed Ed's stream last night. Sleepers for the week. Yeah, Ed's stream was really nice. I'll be honest, I wasn't having the greatest of evenings, so it was really nice to go over there and chat to you guys and hang out with Ed and everything. It certainly made today a bit less daunting, and to be honest, I wasn't convinced that I was actually going to bother streaming today because of it, but actually it's not been too bad. The only issue you may have seen, I may have told, I cannot remember who I've actually said it to, I can't actually stream at the time I was going to stream tomorrow because I was going to stream at 2, and I suddenly remembered earlier that I have a dentist appointment at exactly that time, so I'm not actually going to be here. But I will hopefully be back by, I'd say at least, I mean I'm going with the entire family, but I can't imagine that I'll be back any later than 3:30, 4. It takes a while for us to get back, but yeah, so I should be on around 4, possibly 5 tomorrow. I do have a rather messy craft in store for tomorrow, so if you would like to see me getting myself completely covered in glue, swearing quite a bit, and potentially splattering stuff that shouldn't be on my monitor everywhere, stop by tomorrow. I'll probably have more of an idea once I'm back, what time that will be. So I will send out a tweet, because that's the easiest way for me to do things, and then if anyone wants to join in, they most certainly shall. Sounds sticky and dirty. Yeah, it will definitely be both of those things. It will definitely be both of those things. And then still deciding. I'll be honest, I'm still sort of on that thing of I kind of want to make a schedule. I kind of want to start everything now, but I'm still quite getting into it. So I'm kind of hoping I might do one Friday or Saturday, although of course that will be dependent on tomorrow's said sticky project being ready. So it could be possible that I'll do one Friday or Saturday as well, which will be nice. Last few weeks I haven't actually really done any craft projects. I've sort of sat down, made a couple of pairs of earrings. I say just sat down and made a couple of pairs of earrings, like that's sort of just an everyday thing, but yeah, I did a couple of bits, but I've not really been in a sort of crafting kind of flow recently, so it's nice that I have the opportunity now to sit down and do some crafting and chat to you and all the other lovely people that I have met recently. Gotta disappear. See you soon. Yeah, I will see you. I'll give it about I'll give it another 5-10 minutes just to make sure that you're online before I go and raid you. So I will see you soon for more assassinations. Oh, thank you for the follow, Immortal McLeod. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I will see you soon, Will, and you can show me how it's done with regards to Assassin's Creed later. Actually, I don't know whether I'm rushing this or whether I'm actually just speeding up naturally. I do kind of feel like it usually takes me a bit longer to finish a square than this has. Oh no, not in the thread. Every sewer's worst nightmare. There we go. Unfortunately, while I wasn't looking, it's also looped itself around the head of the pin. I am good at sewing, honestly. You wouldn't believe it. Just take the pin out. It's much easier. I've got so little left, I don't really need it to hold it in place. Almost finished with this square. And then I shall move on to another one. and I'd say once I've got to the end of that one is probably when I will end it. Because this is really only just a test stream, just to see how it was going to go with the camera and the streaming and everything. Also been thinking actually that I may move the Assassin's Creed playthrough back to pre-made videos for YouTube, because I think it might have been a bit too ambitious an attempt to play it to stream it live, because my internet is not that great, and yeah, I did have a few technical issues yesterday, which may or may not have been caused by other members of the family hogging the internet a little. But yeah, it's pretty much a hamster in a wheel kind of situation with our supposed broadband. So I may just do them as pre-made videos, and then I can make them sort of as short or as long as I need them to be at that point, or I can sort of pause them and just cut and edit them later if I had to leave, because unfortunately the last couple of ones it seems to be some kind of Assassin's Creed curse or something, but both times I've tried to play it, I've either had technical issues or I've had to stop suddenly, and it's such a pain. And I'll be honest, I'm so new to the game, I'm not entirely sure that it even saves when I do that. So I've sort of got this worry that if I keep having to do that and it's not saved, that I'm going to end up spending half of my stream trying to get back to the point that I was at, and probably only to get interrupted again. So but if I can upload them to YouTube, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on here, I do have the function or the option to premiere the videos, so I'll still get to sit in the chat with you guys, but if I'm waffling on the video, you don't really have to pay attention to it as much, because I'm not really answering anyone, I'm just thinking out loud essentially, which might be an easier way to do it, because then it's slightly less stressful, because I wouldn't say it's an intensive game, it's just a game that I'm not very aware of, and at the moment I'm struggling to even learn buttons, so I think being able to sort of take my time with it a little more, rather than sort of keeping an eye on the chat or worried how the stream quality is, then I think I'll probably actually be able to play through more of it in a day than I am currently. So yeah, that's another thought. And then I might play some just some simple games. Well, I say simple. I'm thinking at the moment, and I don't know how it will run because I am on Windows 10 and it's quite old now. Thinking of playing some Sims 1. Sort of going back to where it all began really with me. Sims 1 was sort of, I mean, when I was a kid we didn't have our own computers and tablets and whatnot like kids these days do. So playing computer games, it was more of a privilege. I probably sound really old now. Back in my day. But yeah, and it was actually my cousin who had Sims 1 and sort of let us play it when we were over at his, and I just fell completely in love with the game and I find it absolutely hilarious. I still think out of all of the Sims games, Sims 1 is the best, and I don't know whether I'm biased because it was really the first one that I was introduced to, or whether it's just because of, you know, it's sort of, I think it felt more of a natural game. Like they spent the time on it to develop it and get it, and it was a labour of love. But I kind of feel like I don't want to sort of slag it off or anything, because I'm a massive fan of The Sims, and I'll be honest, I've bought just about every game. Well, I have bought every game since. I've got the entire collection of Sims 2, some of Sims 3, because I wasn't really a fan of most of their packs that they had on offer. I didn't find them particularly good. Although Sims 3 would be a close second, purely because I loved having the horses, obviously, and being able to explore tombs in ancient Egypt with the vacation pack was absolutely amazing. Oh, nearly knocked my water off the side there. Yeah, that since I was a kid, basically, for as long as I can remember, I have been absolutely obsessed with everything ancient Egypt. I won't say that I know as much as, you know, the Egyptologists that have studied it full time, but I'd say that my knowledge of ancient Egypt is probably quite extensive by now. After at least 20 years of just completely nerding out by everything. But yeah, so that was really great with the Sims 3 pack. Sims 4, I like it. I'm not a massive fan of the graphics. I'm not a massive fan of them essentially having to downgrade it from Sims 3, but I do understand why, because the thing that I hated so much about Sims 3 was the fact that it just didn't run at all. Like it wasn't optimized for, you know, quad core processors, so it would run on 2 cores of a processor, and if you happen to have, you know, not so great capacity, then it would just lag so badly. And there was just so many glitches, and I think that was really where it sort of went a bit downhill, because the game was so buggy that most of the people that bought it couldn't play it, and it was essentially a roulette of, you know, factors of, did you have this graphics, do you have this processor, such and such, of what it was you would get that would break. Hey, go home. How are you doing? Please excuse my Sims rant. But yeah, Sims 3 was great content wise, but in actual terms of playability, it wasn't that great. If I could run it for more than half an hour without it completely burning out my computer or just crashing for no reason, that was considered a miracle. Hi Sorrel, how's it going? Hope you guys are okay. Hope you're enjoying this fine Tuesday afternoon. I have remembered what day it was, and I didn't need prompting for that. Yay me. My stuff is just slowly falling off the side. The only issue with this, I suppose probably similar to like knitting a scarf or something, is that by the time you get halfway through it, it's so heavy that it tends to just carry on sliding away by itself, which can be a bit difficult when you're actually trying to hold it in place to So more of it. Got a nice day of the week. Untimed nail. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping that it's sort of a nice casual time of day, and I don't really want to sort of say too much because it's not really a done thing at the moment, but I do have an interview for an apprenticeship next week, so depending on that I may not actually be able to stream at this time, but yeah, I'm hoping that I can still sort something out with like days and times and stuff to keep this going. But it's at the moment it's very nice just being able to sort of sit here casually and chat to people while I'm basically doing the stuff that I would be doing on my own. Got woken up at 6:30 this morning by a fire alarm. Oof, sorry, that is not good. Oh. yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. It's business admin, so it's what I'm learning now. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of bored to tears with the subject, so I'm not really interested in it as such. But at the same time, it's also there isn't a lot of opportunities around here that don't involve some kind of admin, so it's more of a I would like the money than enjoy the job, and to be fair, I haven't so far found a job that I do enjoy, so that's adulting for you. Yeah. Poof. Burnt toast is the worst. Yeah, I hope you're besides being woken up at a horrendous time in the morning, hope your days are going well so far. Have you got any nice plans for the evening? Or are you guys just going to be chilling, gaming, watching streams as such? Oh, playing Rocket League with Tracker. Oh, that's nice. I'm really hoping that you guys can't hear that, but my mum appears to be yelling something incoherent downstairs. She's not yelling for me though, fortunately, for once, so I'm not going to have to dash off mid-stream again like I did yesterday. That wasn't great, because she rang me and then it cut off, and then she was yelling up to me yesterday, so I was under the impression that there was oh, thank God. That's lucky then. Yeah, I thought something bad had happened, and to be fair, around here bad things are frequent and expected, but fortunately no, she just wanted to know if I wanted some lunch, which I did, but I also wanted to finish my stream first, so that was a bit of a pain. So I do apologise for that, guys, having to sort of cut and run yesterday. Oh, that's good, didn't hear anything either. That's fine. I know sometimes my microphone sensitivity can be so ridiculous that, you know, you could hear me sneeze from 3 miles away, and then other times I have to keep turning it up because no one can hear me. So, but to be fair, it's a pretty good microphone for what it is, and for how much I actually paid for it. So I can't complain too much. And it might actually just be my computer messing around with my settings, because it does that quite regularly. what was I going to say? Oh yes, Cow Home. How did the stream go the other day with the sheep game? So I think I had to miss the end of it. I think I had to leave for dinner or something. Did that go all right? Did you kill off too many sheep? Oh, that's good. That's nice to hear. Yeah, it did seem. I mean, other than it sneaking in a bit of educational maths there. I don't approve of that in games. You might have noticed. It looked like a really cute little game. It seemed quite sort of puzzly, but not to the level that you just think, ugh, why am I doing this kind of a thing. I have seen some sort of casual puzzle games out there that I just think, I don't actually know what I'm doing, where I'm going, and all that. Oh, it's on your wish list. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. It was a very cute looking game. I think I might actually have to put it on my wish list as well, because it was adorable. Expecting people to leave when you realise it involved some. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think its overall sort of cuteness and gameplay actually almost sort of, I wouldn't say made you unaware, but it sort of distracted you from the element of maths in it almost, I think. Which is, it's quite nice. That's, to me, if they did that in schools, I think kids would probably learn a lot more, I'll be honest. You see all these books like, this is how you make maths fun, and I'm like, nah. It ain't fun, it's maths. But that actually nailed the level of, a good level of teaching with, fun gameplay and really adorable sheep as well, which always helps. If in doubt, throw a cute animal into it. Okay, I was actually going to end after that square, but I think I might do another one and just stay a bit longer. I think it takes roughly about 10 minutes to do these, so that's probably another 10 minutes worth of stream, which is nice. I'm still trying to get my hours up at the moment, so I can't believe it. I actually looked on the achievements the other day, and I think I've got something ridiculous like 15 more followers to get for the affiliate achievement. And to be honest, once I've got the hours down on a regular basis, I think I might actually be in with a chance of doing it, which will be nice. I don't know how regularly I'll be able to make it work, but that'll be something at least. I think puzzle games are like that are good for an intro, but I'm not sure if it's good for a long stream. So good. Yeah, that is true. I think it's quite a nice casual game. Maybe if you're watching someone, sort of late at night, and it is really just more there for a chat. But I guess it's perhaps one of those things that if you're streaming it for like 3 hours, people would probably wouldn't hang around as long, because once you've seen a few levels, I suppose you have sort of seen it all. holding on for TC to start towards the end. Yeah. To be fair, that's sort of how today started. Actually, I was waiting for Will's toy clearance, the lovely Will's toy clearance, to start, and I thought, actually, I've got half an hour. I'm not doing anything else. I needed to sort of test this before I try anything tomorrow, so I thought I would just pop along and see how far I would get, and hopefully get some of this finished, because I've been working on this on and off for about 2 years now. So it's been quite a accidental, long-term project that I kind of do want to finish making at some point. Yay, affiliate hype. I'm hoping so. I'm really hoping so. And I'm hoping I can keep this up long term to actually make it worthwhile. I don't really expect any money from it, but it would be nice to sort of have it. Small talk is one thing I need to work. Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't even know how I'm this chatty. Like, usually I am the most silent person, and you've been in voice calls with me before, I'm sure, and I don't really say a lot, and yet somehow I get the camera on and it just feels a lot easier to be doing it. I guess maybe it's because I can't really see or hear anyone else, so it kind of just feels like I'm talking to myself, really. Sort of just a way of expressing my insanity by just talking to myself and being appreciated for that. It would be useless a small talk if I ever stream. Yeah. I mean, I think it's... For me, it's knowing what conversations to even start. You know, I'm not massive on small talk, you know. I'm not one of these people that's like, so, how's the weather? You know, oh, it's been raining all over the weekend, kind of a thing. You know, to sort of get a conversation started. I'm like, here is this thing, let us discuss it. Or, you know, this is my opinion on something, debate. I'm just sort of straight in there. I think it's one of those things that you do tend to overthink. So I think if you gave it a go, you probably would find it a lot easier, and especially like now, where you're essentially talking to the people that you just talk to offline, really. But I suppose technically Discord is online. But you know, one second. Of course, Mum did actually shout up to me then. If anyone did hear that, apparently there is tea, which is nice. But yeah, I think as far as streaming, and I am in no way considered a streamer, I'll be honest, in any way, shape or form right now. But I think it is one of those things you do just, if you want to do it, then you do have to do it, I think. Like with this, I did pretty much just open up Streamlabs and hit the start button. Because I think if I sit around thinking about things too long, then I do tend to just go, actually, I don't really feel like doing this now. Sort of put myself off it. Which is quite a common issue, especially with me. Oh, clonk. Throwing the thread everywhere. I've got this massive, TC will be very happy with this, massive tube of thread right now. I think it's something ridiculous, like 500 meters or something. I've still not been able to use much of it. Doing this entire quilt and I've barely made a dent in it. Very different styles. TC is good at general chat and ABC is pretty good at commentating on the game. So I guess you have to find your own style. Yeah, it's sort of, and I think that's what makes streaming so nice as well, because it does it does feel more like you're just talking to the person, you know, having a casual chat, if it's done right. You know, it's not. I think it's a lot easier to stress over it until you're there, just essentially talking to the same people that you talk to every day anyway. Jay just swears. Yeah, he does. He swears so much. I can't remember, because I'll be honest, it sort of feels like such a time warp since I've actually known you guys. Were you there, Calhome? I don't think Zora was so much. Back in the days, Jay was streaming Commander Keen. I think he has done it more recently. Like, I think he did it for one of his charity streams or something, but back when I first started watching him, and oh my god, did he swear so much. Never have I heard such so many foul words come out of one man's mouth all at once. It was amusing to watch. I'll be honest. But before your time. Aww. So young and innocent to the club of J-Dubsy. Be thankful, Sorrel. So much swearing. Slightly before your time, in your early days, you did drop by Keen Stream and then quietly back. Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. When all you can hear is, I mean, the terrible bleepy noises of those kind of retro games, and very, very loud, emphasised swearing. You do tend to just run and hide a little, don't you? It's like, I'll come back at a better time for making conversation. Probably don't need the distraction right now. Yeah. I think speedrunning, I have to say, is probably the one thing that I will never get into. I'll be honest, I'm not a massive fan. Oh, sorry, I'm heading away from the camera there. I'm not a massive fan of repetitive gameplay as it is. I hate game tutorials that don't allow you the option to back out of them if you happen to have played the game again, or played the game and then started again. And the thought of anything longer than Commander Keen, which I think turned into like a 4-minute run or something, would actually do my head in. Because I am not good enough at games to make it through them that quickly. What I am hoping to stream and or do video playthroughs? What am I trying to say? Playthroughs. That was it. Would be Super Lucky's Tale. You may have heard me mention this one before, and it usually starts with, it's cute, but it annoys me so much. But since I stopped playing it for an entire year. Like, I bought it, tried it out immediately, and was just like, this is not working for me, and just stopped playing it before I got really upset. Literally came back to it an entire year later, and somehow I have gained the skills to do all of those platform jumps. Or they've made the game easier, I'm not entirely sure. Appreciate the effort, but it'd be kind of nice to get good at something. Yeah. We should invest the time, I think. I'd play a musical instrument. Ooh. Yeah. I would, what kind of instrument are you thinking? Are you a guitar guy, piano? I think I must have been. I was never a player of platformer games. Platformer games tend to be more sort of console, and I've never owned a console in my life, so like associated similar games I tend to be bad at. Along with using a controller, which is why Assassin's Creed was going a bit bad. You know, I kind of had you pegged as a piano player, I'll be honest. I don't know what it is, but oh, piano is so nice. I want to resume that at some point. That would be a really nice thing to take up again, I think. There's just something about piano music. It just seems so calm and relaxing. Maybe not so much when you're playing it. Also like to learn the drums. Yeah, that would be cool. Played the French horn for a bit. Wish I'd stuck it out. Yeah, I don't really know much about horns. Smirk, smork, wink, wonk, and all that. But yeah, that could be something that's sort of nice to get back into. Yeah, I'd say for me probably drums or guitar. Probably leaning more towards guitar, because with drums, around here noise is quite an issue. Like in our house, you can, I mean, I'm in the attic bit, loft, whatever you like to call it, and you can literally hear someone boiling a kettle in the kitchen through the floors. It's not great soundproofing. My girlfriend says I look like a brass player. Should learn the trombone. Oh dear. I mean, is that a good thing? I don't really know any brass players, I'll be honest, so I'm kind of hoping that that's a good thing to look like, but I don't know. Oh, I've done something here. Yep, I appear to have got that bit of thread stuck, so I am just going to cheat. This is more common than you would like to think with me, so I will just loop that bit over. I don't know how well you can see that. I kind of have a bit of thread that's stuck there, so I'm just gonna loop it over and sew it back into the seam, and then no one will know. No one will be able to know. I think so. She used to play a lot. Oh, a degree in music. Oh, that's nice. So I think it was sincere. Yeah. I mean, again, brass is not an element that I'm that au fait with. I've always been sort of more rock and 80s style music, so essentially anything that I could recreate that on is probably why I would go for drums or guitar or something like that. But yeah, trombone could be quite a nice one to get into. I'll be honest, I don't think I would have the lung capacity without describing the action that could be taken or clipped and taken completely out of context. I don't think I would be able to play a trombone for a long period of time. And anyone that's like-minded here will probably know exactly the word that I was going to use. Okay, so sort of nearing the middle of this square, which is sort of nearing the end of the stream actually, because I'm gonna call it here. Once I've finished this square, I'm gonna call it and then go raid the lovely Mr. Will's toy clearance. Can't actually see my dashboard at the moment because the laptop, I had to remove that off of the desk so that I could actually spread this stuff out, because the desk is rather small. But I will go check these on in a minute and then go raid him. So many people are now. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, I did promise Will, because he popped by the stream, so I promised him that I would go raid him. I'd feel bad if I didn't, because I'm going to go watch him anyway. Ow. Stab myself in the finger with a needle. That's a good start. Yeah, sort of. I suppose maybe after yesterday, everyone seemed to be having problems. So perhaps everyone has now decided today that today's the best day to try streaming. And incidentally, all ended up at the same time. A bit like buses, really. Rob's decided another test stream. Yeah, I did unfortunately have to miss his one yesterday. Were you guys there yesterday? Did you see? Was it yesterday? Or was it the day before? I can't remember now. Kind of like no stream Monday. Yeah, I think that's the thing. There's two ways it can go. It's either if you've not got anything to do or not got anything much to do, or you want a bit of background talk or whatever, having at least one person on every day that you can choose out of is nice. But then it also gets to the point where you're friends with everyone and you want to give them all equal time and you want to spend time with them, but at the same time you need to do other things, and having a stream on in the background is often distracting, so you sort of feel guilty, but you don't actually want people to be streaming 24 hours a day, because it just makes it impossible to get anything done. Yeah, I think sort of at the moment I'm trying to sort of learn everyone's schedules and see what the busiest times are. Yeah, exactly. See what the busiest times are, so I can either avoid those, or if it's days where someone's cancelled, then I can sort of fill in a little. At the moment it's mostly just sort of testing things and seeing my limitations, I guess, because I don't want to sort of keep going, I'm going to play this game today, I'm going to play that, or do this, do that, and then it doesn't actually work because something's gone wrong. Today I was almost about to lob the camera out the window because I tested it before I went live, and then as soon as I hit the button it stopped working. So I had to keep replugging it in. Yeah, I don't know where I can find a regular slot. Yeah, that is the issue, because everyone, I wouldn't say they've all already got the prime time slots, but everyone there's so many now, which is good. But obviously being 7 days in the week and having to work and stuff, and having to sleep and have a life, people do tend to converge all at the same time. Yeah, conflicts are inevitable. Yeah. I mean, for raiding purposes, obviously, if you've got people that are overlapping by a short while, then it's great. But obviously, if everyone takes like 2 hours and that happens to be between 2 and 4, then it's sort of you sort of playing a little roulette, really, who you're going to go watch. Sort of rotating it throughout the days or the weeks. should have should have continued streaming when I started last year, as that was before Sundays got colonised. Yeah, that's the thing. I think we do have sort of quite a. I think we all have a rather similar schedule in that concept of this is when everyone's free, and it's usually on, you know, a Friday night or a Saturday sort of afternoonish, and you're sort of just chilling out and you want to do something. Oh, sorry, my throat's going. I don't usually talk this much. Yeah, I would have thought that Saturdays are more likely to be busier because it's like the first day of the weekend. So if you've been doing stuff all week and you couldn't stream, then I would have assumed that Saturday would be the first one that people would choose. But I don't know, maybe it's because people want to go out on Saturday or something. But I'm considering either a Friday or Saturday stream. Again, the issue is with weekends here. Saturdays tend to be in real life stuff though. Yeah, exactly. I have an issue at the moment that if I try and stream over the weekend, that I may actually find that I don't have enough internet because everyone will be in the house. So it's hard to commit to a regular time. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you're not planning to do anything on that day, then you can, then you know that you can stream. But if it's sort of essentially the only day of the week that you get to actually get anything done, then you kind of can't make a regular plan because you can never be too sure of, what you've got to get done in that day to know when you need to be done by to start streaming. But yeah, I'm sure at least one of us, at least for one of us, we can cover just about every day of the week. Considering doing some like ridiculously late night stuff as well, just when I'm bored and I want to play some games or something. So, right. Having said that, Tracker's Saturday morning streams are really nice. Yeah. So that's quite a nice way to sort of start your weekend. Sort of having a casual play with a friend or whatever have you. Sort of sets you up for the rest of the weekend and the following week. Right. So I'm gonna call it here. Let me just cut off that one because I left the needle in earlier and I forgot about it and nearly stabbed myself, which wasn't fun. So this one's going along the bottom, so I need it to be 14. So we've got 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8, so that's a great start. I'm over halfway done. I was showing these off earlier in the streams. This is the rest of the bits that I've got done. This one's a bit tangled up at the moment. Quite a lot of loose thread everywhere. So this is one of the sides. I can't actually open it all out because it's too long. And then you got another one of the sides of the blanket here. And then like another, this is the top bit. So you can see there's a few different patterns in it, which are nice. And then I will have the entire outline of the top of the blanket done. And then I've just got to like work my way through the middle, which is going to be nice. And again, it's something that I can do that's relatively sort of simple and have a chat with you guys as well. So that's really good. But yeah, so I'm going to call that here for now. Thank you guys so much for coming and chatting and just sort of joining in. And I hope to be back today. Today's Tuesday. I do have a slight scheduling conflict with tomorrow. I did say that I was going to do 2 o'clock, and then suddenly remembered that I'm actually at the dentist at that exact time, so I might be back about 4, possibly 5, for a rather messy craft stream, so that will be amusing. So yeah, I shall hopefully be back tomorrow, and then, you know, depending on what happens during the rest of the week, depends on when I'll be back, possibly Friday or Saturday, to finish off that craft. So, but yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. And, I didn't add in a box there. Whoops. Yeah, thanks guys for coming, and I will see you again soon. Oh, actually, before I do that, I do need to go raid Mr. Will's toy clearance. Aha, he is on. So let's go raid him. And because I can't see the edge of the screen. Yeah, so thank you guys for coming. Yes, it is a crafty raid. It is a crafty raid indeed. So I'm going to press the button now, and I will see you guys over there. Actually, let's go with a rebel raid. There we go. That'll be nice. So, rebel raid, and I'll see you guys over there. Bye bye.